Oh. How you doing, folks? You might know me as Groucho Marx. And I gotta say, this is the most ridiculous review I ever done. But of course, I'm getting really sick and tired of being this fella. I should be going back to my Marx Brothers. I see. I need to change somehow. Now, how can I change it? Huh. Ah! Huh. On this pill here, says MVR on it. Multi-voice reviewer, huh? You know, out of curiosity, I think I might check this out. So, bounds up. I don't feel anything at all. Although somebody did tell me if I swallow something, I have to say its name. So what does MVR stand for? I see. Is it multi-voice reviewer? Oh. The heck just happened? I mean, I remember I was like Groucho Marx. And I don't smoke. Well, what you saw there, ladies and gentlemen, that's how Zaturnnah transforms into Narda. Now, for this review for today, I'm going to tell you a little something before I get to the one. And what I'm going to be talking about is this. Zaturnnah became a smash hit at the box office, like I mentioned before in my last review, that I kept looking back on other things that happened during Wonder Woman. I mean, I remember when I mentioned the TV series became a huge success. Only lasted about 3 seasons, starring the lovely Lynda Carter. What a woman. But did you know that there were other Wonder Woman things they made that it didn't become successful ever since? And I'm going to show them to you. Back in 1967, starring Linda Hardison, there was this. Who's Afraid of Diana Pryce? It was supposed to be made to be a Wonder Woman series, but that pilot never continued. Unlike this one. Like this Wonder Woman parody. Made back in the 70s. Starring Kathy Lee Crosby. Not Cosby, Crosby. This one was nothing like the Wonder Woman that we know and love, so that's why this one never continued. And do not forget this one. This Wonder Woman pilot. This one was not a success because I've seen the pilot, it was awful. And I guess after a whole bunch of horrible on-aired pilots, they finally made one series that was more successful, and it was Lynda Carter. And of course, the movie starring Gal Gadot. Believe it or not. And then ever since that Wonder Woman movie became a huge success, there were other things that was made that started to happen lately. And believe it or not, this happened. Jessica Jones from Marvel Comics, now becoming successful on Netflix. Sadly, Agent Carter was long-lived. It was supposed to be it's supposed to be like a spin-off to Captain America. And of course, do not forget this one. Supergirl TV series starring Melissa Benoist. I never could get the names right. And of course, this TV series was made to be sort of a spin-off to the Flash series, Arrow, and Legend of Tomorrow. Of course, if I have to choose, Legend of Tomorrow is my favorite series. And you know, since that Wonder Woman movie became a huge hit, Marvel is still thinking, could they ever make a Black Widow movie starring Scarlett Johansson? I don't know. I mean, they could try, since the Marvel Cinematic Universe is becoming very successful, like the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, and all those other superheroes, and now I heard this Spider-Man Homecoming became a success. And a lot of people think that Black Widow deserves to have her own movie. Maybe a bit of a backstory, talks about her background. Maybe. I don't know. And of course, much of my surprise, that Doctor Who is announcing that the Peter Capaldi Doctor is going to regenerate into a woman by this actress, Jodie Whittaker. It's about time that they decided that the Doctor should regenerate into a woman. Of course, some of you Whovians are going to complain about it, but to me, I say it's different. It's very, very different. I've seen a lot of fan videos of people who are doing female versions of Doctor Who, and I gotta say that Jodie Whittaker deserves a shot to becoming the Doctor. And she's not a bad-looking girl either. But enough of these female superheroes from the cinema and the series. I want to talk about a female superhero that I did mention in my very first Filipino superhero movie. And it's not the main subject, but I'm going to mention it. If any of you remember my past shows, Darna, my favorite superhero, Darna, became a huge hit and a success at the box office. Darna was the most popular and famous superhero in the Philippines. She is like the Wonder Woman. And now I hear that sooner or later they're going to be making a movie about Darna. Now, a lot of people say, excuse me, a lot of people say that Angel Locsin, who played Darna back in 2004, will be playing Darna in the movie, but sadly that has changed, and announcing that it's going to be a new Darna named ZsaZsa Zaturnnah. And here's what she looks like. Beautiful, ain't she? And you know, I am very proud of doing my Filipino superhero reviews. Because, to tell you the truth, I had message from Filipino fans from fans from the Philippines thanking me for talking about their favorite superhero. And especially the one about Darna. So, for those of you Filipinos who are watching this, you're welcome. I mean, I'm not kidding. You're very welcome for me to mention Darna and Elastic Man, Captain Barbell, Captain Boom, and Flash Bomba, Diasabel, Crystalla, and Varja. And of course, Volta and Super Eco. But this Filipino superhero was made to be a parody of Darna, but this one has a different premise. And this superhero I'm going to be reviewing for you today is ZsaZsa Zaturnnah. Now, I know what you're going to be asking. Mr. Multi-Voice Reviewer, what's so different about ZsaZsa Zaturnnah? And why is it a parody? Well, they made her to become a parody to Darna, but it got so popular that they made movies, a movie that I'm going to talk to you later about, and they made a Broadway musical, and a couple of comics, like I printed out here for you. Now, what is it that makes ZsaZsa Zaturnnah so different? Well, this ZsaZsa Zaturnnah started out as a drag queen. You know, gay guys who dress up as women. Well, some would say that he's a drag queen. Some would say that he's transgender. But anyway, it starts out that there was a transgender who goes by the name of Ada. And he feels really sad because his boyfriend is going off to college. So what he did is gave him enough money so he can go to college. And his mother wants him to meet a girl and have a life. And that really saddened Ada really bad. Sucks to be him. Sorry. Anyway, Ada was so sad that he decided to move to another town. And therefore meets another drag queen best friend who goes by the name of Dee Dee. And of course, Ada moved with his niece who goes by the name Aruda. Now, her niece Aruda decided to move with him to a very small town. And then from out of nowhere, they found somebody who turns out to be the love interest for Ada. And his name is Do Dong. No jokes. But that's his name. Anyway, while Ada was taking a shower, all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, a huge rock fell out of the sky and landed in a shower. So he called Aruda and Dee Dee to come over and have a look. And instead of Darna, who has a small little pebble, Ada has a huge, big rock. Just big. And it says Zaturnnah in it. And Dee Dee said that he should swallow this rock, and he'll have superpowers and become a superhero. And he's like, seriously? So, he swallows that huge rock, and says, Zaturnnah! And then, boom, turns into a woman with superpowers. And that's ZsaZsa Zaturnnah for you. And throughout the entire story, he battled against a bunch of crooks who tries to kill Do Dong. And then ZsaZsa battled against battled against a giant frog who is pretty much putting the town into fear. I mean, just battled a bunch of evil in their town. And of course, the biggest issue of all is Dodong. I mean, Dodong really likes Ada, but he also likes ZsaZsa. So now, Ada's alter ego, ZsaZsa Zaturnnah, is now fighting against the alter ego over Dodong. And of course it's just really laughable, but it's kind of silly, but got really popular. And I know I mentioned back then, I mentioned that I'll never review this, but after years of thinking, I decided, what the heck. I mean, even though my favorite comic book critic, Linkara, crossing over with this other critic named Diamanda Hagen, reviewed the movie, I decided to review this franchise. This is ZsaZsa Zaturnnah for you. And they made a movie right here. This is the movie of ZsaZsa Zaturnnah. And after battling against a bunch of bad guys and a giant frog, all of a sudden there was a group of female aliens. And what they're planning to do is turning all the men into women. The reason why is because in their planet, all the men started treating the women like animals. They start beating them up, torturing them, treating them horribly. It was awful. So they decided to kill all the men in their planet and decided to go to other planets and find any other men there and try to not kill the men, but turn them into women. Would that cause genocide? If a whole planet? No. I mean, Themysciran on Wonder Woman, the Themysciran, they make their children out of clay and let the Greek gods make them come to life. So I don't know about how these aliens cope, but that's it. But after battling the aliens, Ada is no longer ZsaZsa because he lost the rock. But at the end, they found the rock again, and they broke the fourth wall by looking at us and say, Patur? So I don't know if they're going to make a sequel of this movie or not. So, this is ZsaZsa Zaturnnah for you folks. My thoughts about it is that... Dang ladybug. My thoughts about it is that some of the premise of the story is kind of interesting. I mean, it's a guy turning into a woman. I mean, talk about an instant sex change. But all in all, I was more interested in the actress who played ZsaZsa than the actor who plays Ada. But, to me, Zaturnnah is the only female superhero who is close to my heart. So, if any of you like this review of ZsaZsa Zaturnnah, please leave a comment down below, hit like, subscribe, and, yeah, I'm going to review some more Filipino superheroes for you folks. So you better stay tuned, and bleep, 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 and that's all, folks!